This is Gigi Sabat, and you're listening to the Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Lisa Allgood. Welcome to the show, Lisa.
Thank you, Gigi. I'm happy to be here.
Likewise, it's an honor to have you here today, Lisa. Now, can you start off by telling us more about you and where are you from?
I am currently living in Chandler, Arizona, originally from Southern California.
I love it. Lisa, tell us a little bit more about your podcast.
So my podcast is all about having conversations about ADHD. If Jesus happens to sneak in there a little bit, we're going to talk about that too, and really just organic conversations. A lot about ADHD. Kind of worms its way in there because it's a big part of who I am.
I love it. Now, you intertwine Jesus and me and ADHD. Why?
Well, so the relationship that I have with Jesus, the way I kind of look at it is it's I have been saved for about 20 years. But only recently with my ADHD diagnosis have I really accessed that deep relationship with God through Jesus. And so it's kind of like this whole time I've been, powering through life, sometimes not so much powering as cowering, and kind of just trying to figure it out when all along I had like this I don't know, this extra friend that was ADHD. Like, oh, I guess that had a lot of influence on everything. And so through my ADHD diagnosis, and that diagnosis explained a lot, and then it allowed me to give myself grace to let my brain work how it works, let me be who I am. And allowing myself to do that then opened my mind to not trying to check boxes just in general, not trying to live up to the world's expectations or my own internal expectations, and unchecking a lot of boxes and really just not even living in a box. I don't like being put in a box. I never know what box I might want to be in. So I don't even like to put myself there. So once I did that, that's what took my relationship with God to a whole new level.
I love it. Now, Lisa, what message do you have for an individual who's looking to launch a podcast?
I think it's great to get it's an opportunity to get your story out there and to really find your tribe and find people that you can relate to and to share. When you share your story, a lot of people, they love when they hear someone else's story that they can relate to, right? You just never know. It could be just one person that needs to hear that you could completely shift how they look at themselves, how they look at life. You can make a huge impact.
That's very true. Now, Lisa, tell us, what gives you the most joy?
The most joy. I love talking about ADHD and God. Like those are my two favorite things to talk about, and how it's all intertwined together. Um, that's when I'm really at my happy place, at my best, and having the most fun is when I get to talk about those things, and when I'm really feeling in sync with God. Like that's a big thing.
I love it. I can tell your faith means a lot to you. Now, Lisa, what message do you have for an individual who feels stuck today?
I feel like I was stuck for about 20 years in a lot of ways. That's not to say that I did not have all kinds of challenges and ups and downs, but I didn't really get it. I got, like I said, I got saved about 20 years ago, and I want to go to heaven. I want all that is promised, which I know that I have, but I didn't really get it that I had to learn about who I am. That was a big part of ADHD. And then really the ultimate way to be unstuck and move forward is to understand whose you are. And the other key, honestly, is to not look back. If you're looking back all the time, you're stuck. You can't, you gotta get through that stuff. But if you're just looking back and not looking forward, you're gonna go where you're looking, right? If you just picture walking anything, you're gonna go where you're looking. So if you're looking back, then you're not gonna move forward.
That's very true. Now, what message do you have for an individual who's looking to build a relationship with him?
I guess depending on where you are with your walk with him, here's the thing. I used to think, to be a good Christian, I have to go to church. I have to memorize Bible verses. I have to read my Bible in a certain way, right? I have to read it every morning or every night, or I have to be part of a Bible study. Um, but those things didn't really fit with me. I'm literally like, I can't remember Bible verses to save myself. Like, it's terrible. I can tell you the story of what Jesus taught about. I mean, I remember those things all the time, and I can't read something just to read it. I understand now that that has to do with the way that my brain works and the way that the ADHD is. And so if we allow ourselves to look to God, to look to Jesus, that's the key. The number one thing that you have to do is look at him and get to know him, to seek him. Because if you don't, you are going to be confused. You are going to be, well, is this from God? I don't know. I need a sign, or, there's a lot, I'm doing all the right things, but I'm still not really feeling what's happening. What direction he wants me to go. The key that he tells us is to always be looking at him and know him. You have to know him before you can know what comes next, before you can have that peace that comes with knowing him. And that can look like many different things. It can look like watching The Chosen. And that's an amazing show. It gives the gospel so much depth, and it allows you to really, really relate. Possibly listening to all Christian music. There's all kinds of Christian music, well beyond what's played on the radio. I mean, we have access to so much with Amazon Music and Apple Music. It can look like just reading the verse of the day each day, right? And kind of learning about that. It's really just setting aside that time to spend time with just him each day. But it can be just sitting and drinking your coffee or eating your breakfast and just enjoying nature, or enjoying music. It's just a matter of opening your mind to him.
Very powerful statement. Seek him. I'll say it again. Seek him. And I'll say it again. Seek him. Very powerful statement. I love it. Now, Lisa, do you have any last words for the audience?
I would. Yes, I do. Yeah. The biggest thing for me to understand once I opened my mind was that we were created to love and be loved by God. I've been told this. I've heard it in songs. I just never fully understood. That's it. That's what we're created for, to love and be loved by God. That's like, you just need to sit in that and understand how much he loves us. And that is literally, that's what we're created for. That's why he created us, to be with him, for him to love us.
Amen. Thank you, Lisa. And thank you for being a guest on the Walk With Me podcast. Now, where can the audience find you?
So my website is just allgoodadhd.com. I think I kind of got lucky with that last name. It comes in pretty handy for businesses. It is really my last name. A lot of people don't believe it. But and I didn't believe it when my husband first told me his last name. I called him a liar, but it is really our last name. But it's just real simple, just Allgood ADHD.
Absolutely amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Lisa on all of her social media platforms and also her website. That's allgoodadhd.com. And Lisa, thank you again for being a guest on the Walk With Me podcast. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, Gigi. You too.
Thank you.